Here's why you keep getting rejected for scholarships like Chevening, Mastercard, Commonwealth, university scholarships, country scholarships, government scholarships. You know what? Hold up. Let's clarify something. You are not getting rejected for scholarships. Your application is getting rejected. That specific application. And that's where I want to start this video from. A lot of times people ask me, Faith, I'm tired of rejections. It's affecting my self-esteem. I keep getting rejected. They keep saying no to me. Let's start from reframing that. You are not the one getting rejected. What you sent at the time is what's getting rejected. And it's your application that determines whether or not you get it or not. Because sometimes people can have done the most amazing things, people can have the best intentions, people can have achieved the most things, but they're not able to communicate that in the application. Sometimes the application is good, but there is no space. The scholarship provider has, maybe there's so many other talented people, and maybe they saw the application before yours. Maybe there's a bias, maybe there's many things. But the point is, I want you to know that getting rejected for scholarships is not a reflection of your worth. It is not a reflection of your ability. It's a reflection of a couple of things. Number one, it could be that your application is not strong enough, and I'll be talking about applications. It could also be that the scholarship and yourself do not align, which is also similar to application issues. It could also be that there's not enough space. Maybe they go to the final five, they only want to pick one person, and unfortunately, there was just somebody that did slightly better than you. It could also be a subjective thing. A lot of scholarships have human beings that are reviewing the applications, human beings that are reading the applications. And it could be that the person that read that application just is subjective and did not appreciate the value that you presented in that application. And that's why I always say that try to make your application so strong that it breaks through subjective bias. And I always teach that a lot on this channel, in my resources, in my one-to-one calls that I have with people. If you're looking for resources on how to get scholarships, check the link in my description. But let's focus on what this video is. Why do you keep getting rejected for scholarships? Okay? Let's start from the application. It could be your application issues. Maybe you filled the wrong thing in the application form. Maybe you were not eligible and you applied anyways. Maybe the scholarship required a first class and you had a 2-2 and you applied. Maybe the scholarship requires people that are creatives and you're a science person and you applied. In your essays, maybe your essays were not written well. Maybe you did not sell yourself strongly enough. Many people make the mistake of being PT, like doing like a PT strategy in their essays, trying to beg their way to getting a scholarship. If you watch this channel a lot, if you've read my book, if you've had a one-to-one call with me, you will know that begging for scholarships is not the way. So if you do not position yourself as the best candidate in your essay, you will get rejected. That's one. Number two, you do not talk about your achievements, even if it's a small achievement. There's not even small or big achievement, but you do not hype yourself from a place of pride. You do not brag. Yes, you have to brag in scholarship applications, just in case you don't know. You have to brag. Number two, you don't use numbers. Maybe in your essays, you do not use numbers. You were just saying things superficially. So maybe, oh, I've impacted the lives of several people in my community. That's not how you get selected for a scholarship. I've impacted the lives of 20 young children in my community. That is specific. I've done an event, is not specific. I did an event that reached out to 1,000 people. That is specific. Also, you do not talk about names and dates. You do not make them feel like what you're saying is believable. Now, another thing is, you don't have enough track record or credibility in your journey. So maybe in that application, you do not show enough credibility in your journey. So let's say you want to apply for a course, but everything before that application does not show that you care about that thing. Let's say you want to say that you want to apply for a course in maybe agricultural leadership and you want to transform the agricultural sector in your country. But before now, you've not done anything in agriculture. How are they supposed to believe you? So people often get rejected for scholarships because the scholarship committee is not convinced that you really mean to do the things you say you want to do. How would they be convinced? By what you have done before. So maybe you've not done enough before that aligns with what they're looking for. Now, you might have done it, but did you communicate it? Now, that's for the essays. I have a lot of videos on essays. My book goes deeper into essays. But let's talk about other parts of the application. Sometimes it's even your reference letters that are the problem. Yeah. Sometimes your referees don't write favorable reference letters. I've seen referees write 2-line reference letters, 2-paragraph reference letters for a scholarship. That is not acceptable. Your referee needs to write like 2 pages, at the very worst, 1 page. And that 1 page needs to address different aspects of the scholarship application um, key criteria. So let's say the criteria for that scholarship is innovation, leadership. Your referee needs to talk about how you've been innovative, how you've exhibited leadership qualities. Did you have a conversation with your referee about the things that your referee is supposed to write? That is so important. I'm not saying that write your reference letter for your referee, but let them know that this is how to write a reference letter. This is what the scholarship is looking for. This is the ways I've shown leadership. This is the ways I've been innovative that you are aware of. Also, not using the right referee. Some people use their friends and family. You will get rejected. You need to use somebody that you reported to in a professional setting. Also, maybe you broke through the word counts. There's also that as well. Another thing also that people do is they rush through the application. Maybe you sent your first draft. I often advise that people write a draft of their essay, give plenty eyes to see it. Whether your friends, your family, AFM Stories, we also have a essay review service. Send it in to us, let us read it, whatever avenue, but just have another eye to read your essay. Sometimes you will see that you're not even communicating your examples in the right way, and you will also see that maybe there are mistakes you've made, errors you've made. One of the worst things you can do is submit an application with multiple errors. It knows to work. Another thing I would say is maybe you've just not done enough, and that's okay. One mistake that people make is they see an opportunity, they jump at it. I'm not saying don't do that. I always preach apply anyway. But if you get rejected, one of the worst things you would do is to give up in that moment. The first time I applied for a scholarship for Chevening, I got rejected. I had 2 choices. I could have said, oh, I'm rejected. Chevening is not for me. I can never get Chevening. No, I said, okay, why did I get rejected? I went through my essays, I went through the website, I studied scholars, and I saw gaps. A lot of it was I had just not done enough, and that's okay. And I dedicated the next 1 year to doing a lot more. Maybe you need to build your profile, maybe you need to become a stronger candidate. And in that 1 year that you spend developing yourself, you will greatly transform into a better person, that you'll be able to get a lot more opportunities apart from scholarships. A lot of the choices I made in that 1 year between getting rejected and now have really changed my life. I learned a lot about how better to help people to win scholarships. I learned a lot about myself as a creative. And I started exploring my other creative passions. I started going deeper into poetry, into performance, and a lot of that has been very influential in helping me to get amazing things right now in my journey. I'm basically living the benefit of an opportunity right now because of the decisions I made in that 1 year. So don't look at it as I was rejected. No, that application was rejected. I need to come back stronger next year to make the application better. But instead of giving up, go and study scholars that have gotten that scholarship, whether it's Mastercard, Commonwealth. Check their profile. What have they been doing? What is in their bio? What is in their LinkedIn? Do they have a company? Have they been volunteering? What jobs have they been doing? Study it and ask yourself, this is what the scholarship is looking for. They're looking for community service. Is this thing I wrote in this essay strong enough to help me to compete against 8,000 people when they're selecting 40 people? You ask yourself and then you check it. And if it's not strong enough, work harder to be that person so that even when you get the opportunity, you just be flying. If you just barely get it and you jump into it, when you get the opportunity, you just be barely flying. But when you work on yourself, when you become somebody that is strong and powerful, when you even fall in love with the work that you're doing, it reflects in your application. When you're truly passionate, the way I became passionate about everything creativity, hey, I've always been passionate about the creative industries, by the way, but there was something that application did for me. It made me clarify my goals. And even though I was rejected, even though I was sad for months, I can't even lie, I didn't want to apply again. But when I woke up, I'm like, whether or not they choose me, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to fight harder. And I fought harder in the next year. And now, cheating or not cheating, I'm getting so many other opportunities that have been helping me. So I'll say that sometimes maybe you are just not ready. Maybe your experiences are just not enough, and that is okay. What you should do is not give up and be intimidated. Instead, reverse engineer it and work towards it. Another thing is maybe it's your course. Unfortunately, some courses are easier to get funding than others, and that's okay. The truth is, there are certain courses that you get selected more. There are certain courses right now that are in vogue. There's certain courses right now that organizations are prioritizing more. A lot of that is in science, technology, climate change, social good. So there are certain courses like mine that are very niche, and we need to work twice as hard to be able to find those opportunities. So don't hate yourself for that. Just be aware about it. That scholarship you're applying for, how many people that are studying your course did they select? You need to check that out. Another problem also is these popular courses, too many people might also be applying. So the competition is also higher. That's why I said sometimes maybe you need to make yourself a more competitive candidate. It helps, like it's so important. Okay. Another thing I would say is, are you applying for scholarships that are popular? Only scholarships that are popular. Sometimes if your application is not strong enough, if you know you've not done enough, and even if you have, if you keep applying for scholarships that they select only one person, only 20 people, only 10 people out of 10,000, the odds are already stacked against you. They're going to reject a lot of amazing people, regardless of, like, I've spoken to several program officers, several people at the other side, and a lot of them say they reject amazing people on a yearly basis. Like sometimes they feel bad that, this person is good, but we have to reject this person because there's no space. So maybe you're applying for only the popular scholarships. Maybe you need to look elsewhere. Maybe you need to try other scholarships. A lot of universities have scholarship opportunities. There's also assistantships. Explore assistantships. I even think assistantships are also good because you also get to work while studying, and you can also get work experience just in case you want to relocate. A lot of universities have scholarships. Research those scholarships. Don't just limit yourself to only one kind of scholarship. I feel like I made that mistake. I'm proud of the scholarship I won, but I feel like if I wanted to relocate, I kind of like held myself back because I just went for only one scholarship. I know people that apply for multiple and then they made a decision based on their goals at the time, and they went for the one that allowed them to relocate and begin their lives. What I'm trying to say is, if you keep rejected for things like Chevening, Commonwealth, Mastercard, DAD, Erasmus, there are a lot more opportunities for you. Go and check university websites. Stay on opportunities pages. Search through LinkedIn for scholars that have won opportunities. In my book, I talk a lot about how to search for scholarships. Use those strategies. Search deeply for scholarships that are not popular. It's also a strategy that I always advise people to take on. It's so key. So sometimes maybe you're just applying for the popular ones and there are too many good people. So don't hold. And I'm not saying don't apply for these scholarships. Apply, but also don't put all your eggs in one basket. Apply for others, take on other opportunities. It helps as well. Another thing I'll say is maybe your interview was the problem. I did a couple of interview coaching for a couple of people, and I realized that while they've done a lot of things, they are not very great at interviews, especially if you apply for scholarships that um, require interviews. You need to work on your interview skills. You need to be confident. You need to push yourself harder. So maybe your interviewing skills are not strong enough. So go and learn about interviewing skills. Go for that interview with confidence. And have a lot of mock interviews. Practice, But one thing I'll just say is a lot of these opportunities it's like 200 or 500 to 1. So don't take it personally. Your application was just not the most competitive that year. It's not about you. I think that's the point of this video. It is not about you. What I want you to do, if you keep getting rejected for Chevening, for Commonwealth, for any scholarship or opportunity, I want you to focus on falling in love with your work. Fall in love with your work so much that whether or not you get selected or rejected, you're still going to do that work. And why I'm saying that is that love will give you staying power. That love is the reason you keep applying year on year. There's somebody I interviewed on this channel that applied for Chevening 5 years in a row, and he got it on the fifth try. And he got Chevening and another major scholarship, and he had like such an amazing run in the year. So what I'm trying to say is, um, fall in love with your work. Now, what would that do for you? Even if you don't get the particular scholarship that you want, fall in love with your work, working hard on it. Number one, makes you a stronger candidate for your next application. Makes you a stronger candidate for other opportunities apart from scholarships. So there are global opportunities, there are conferences, there are funding, there are grants. So worst case, so you're not able to get a scholarship at the time that you want. You can be amassing these other scholarships. And one thing I like to say is, one thing you can also do is start with local opportunities. What are local boot camps, local fellowships, smaller things that you're looking down on that you can start to do now? All those things add up in your application, because a lot of times maybe you've not developed yourself enough in other means. Often when they see that other people have invested in you, when they see that even people within your country, not even international opportunities, have invested in you, it makes your application even a lot more convincing than when you've not even been invested in. One of the categories of the Ultimate Scholar Framework, which I share a lot in my book, is having access to strong networks, professional development networks. So associations, boot camps, opportunities, all of these things help to make your application stronger. You know, another thing maybe there's a reason for your application not getting selected is not being clear on what you want. I think that many people apply for scholarships without a clear goal, and it shows in their essay. I'll say that before you apply for any opportunity, be clear on your life goals, be clear on your career goals, be clear on the things that you want to do, and really sit down and think about it and choose something that you really want. It can be inspired by what is in vogue, it can be inspired by something that you saw, it can be inspired by your life. But try to become deeply passionate about what you care about, and then read a lot in that field. Learn a lot, so that when you're applying, you're like the best person because you know so much. So I hope that these tips have been helpful. I'm sure there's a lot to say about why people get rejected for scholarships, but I just want you to know that you were not rejected. Your application was rejected. And because you were rejected for one scholarship does not mean there isn't another scholarship for you. You just have to work harder, learn more. If you need to learn more things, learn more, read books about scholarships, do a one-to-one call. Like I said, we have resources. Check the link in our description. Watch YouTube videos like this. Learn as much as you can and come harder with a stronger application. Okay? It's your application they rejected, not you. It doesn't mean you are not a candidate for the scholarship. What it just means is what you submitted at that time was not the best application for it. So please apply again. What I want you to do right now is to work harder. Go and figure out what you need to do. Whether it's volunteering, whether it's working harder at your work, whether it's doing new things, figure it out and come back stronger. Okay? If you need to have a conversation with me, maybe we can map out a way for you to do it. That's fine. That's also okay. Click the link in my description to book a 1-hour advisory call with me if that's something that can help you. But what I'm just trying to say is you can go and sit down and think about it, or maybe discuss with a friend about the best way for you to come back stronger. I want this. What are the things I can do to make me, a better candidate? The people that they selected, what did they do that I'm not doing? What can I do to be on par with these people, or even better than them? Let them be your motivation to be the best version of yourself. And I believe that you'll be able to get a scholarship. Okay, I'm rooting for you, and I cannot wait to interview you on this channel. If you have any issues or any topic or anything that you like feedback on, any question that you like answers to, then drop it in the comments. I can maybe respond to your comments or make a video. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.